Hello, welcome to Joan's Simple Paper Crafts. My name is Joan Heberlein, and today is Friday, March 10th, and this is a YouTube event. If you're new here, I'm so excited to meet you, and I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is at least once a week, typically on a Wednesday. Today I'm here to show you how to make a St. Patrick's Day fun fold card using the Hey Chick stamp set and the Birthday Chick dies. For the background paper, I'm using the In Color Designer Series paper, and then for this one I did scraps of the In Color Designer Series paper and the Ombre Designer Series paper. For this fun fold, you're going to need a sheet of garden green cut at 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, scored at 3 inches. Then we're going to need another sheet of garden green cut at 2 1/2 inches by 8 inches, scored at 4 inches. Some bright assortment paper cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, some basic white cardstock, I need 2 sheets of it cut at 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 inches, and then another sheet of Designer Series paper, and you can either use 2 3/4 inches by 4 inches, or 2 3/4 inches by, these are a little bit shy of 2 inches each. And we're going to use these today. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our own Designer Series paper with this one. So we'll do that right now so that we can make sure the ink dries. And I'm just going to take this piece of paper here because we'll be going off the sheet. And we're going to use our garden green, and then we've got small hearts that I'm using from one of our, I think it was Hearts to Hearts stamp set. And what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to stamp this up all over the place. And then I'm going to use this solid colored one, and we'll just fill in the different spots. And one more up here. That's good. And then I'm going to close this for right now. We'll be probably coming back to using this later on. So with these, I am going to stamp off on to this paper here to get the excess ink off. And then I am going to use my Stampin' Scrub to clean the stamp. And let's see if it's still dry. I'll have to put a little bit of, haven't done any stamping today, so I added a little bit of our Stampin' Mist to get that wet. And then I just dried those off. Okay, and then we're also going to need an envelope. So we should have stamped that, but we'll come back to that later. So we'll let that go. The next thing we want to do is fold our 8.5 by 4 1/4 sheet on the score line, which is 3 inches. And then we'll go ahead and score the 2.5 by 8 inch at the 4 inch mark. And I already had these scored. Then we're going to take our designer series paper and we'll put glue on it and put it inside the card base. And what glue here I'm using is a multi-purpose glue. You could use our Stampin' Clear or Stampin' Seal or our Stampin' Seal Plus. Either one of those will work. And you could also use the multi-purpose glue. I'm using the multi-purpose glue because it gives me wiggle room. It's quicker to use. And we don't have to typically wait for it to dry. Because it dries pretty quickly. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to flatten all the glue out. And there's a little bit excess there, so I'm just going to get it with my fingernail. And then the next thing is we're going to want to put those two squares on this. They're actually rectangles, and actually would work a lot better if I use my Stampin' mat. So this mat is a silicone mat. Glue won't stick to it. It will dry, like the multi-purpose glue will dry opaque, and then you just simply peel it off. I typically just wipe it off real quickly with my finger and then wipe my fingernails onto a wet rag. So either way works, I think. I'm just going to lightly set this down because we may have to adjust that. We want to have them both parallel on this front of this sheet. So I'm trying to keep an 1/8 of an inch border around the entire outer edge. And then an 1/8 of an inch border between the two. Not too bad. So I will use my bone folder to press it down. That flattens the glue out from underneath. Kind of like this butterfly, the hearts here. Then the next thing we will do is we need to do our white card bases. So we will stamp the one with Happy Birthday, which I've already, or Happy St. Patrick's Days, which I've already done. And then we'll need to stamp it with our chick. So I got the birthday chick from the Hey Chick die set. So this is the one that we're using. And that's all we're using out of that one. But we're going to use the Hey Birthday Chick dies to use this boutonniere. And I already have those cut out right here, so we don't have to do that today. So going back to our stamp pad, and I'm using the Garden Green. And we'll open that up. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to stamp this cardstock 3 times with this heart to make a shamrock. And I'm going to kind of tilt it because I don't want it just perpendicular to the, I want it at an angle there. So, and I'm just basically lining those stamps up so it looks like it's touching, but it leaves it like 1/8 of an inch, or no, excuse me, 1/16 of an inch border between each stamp. And then this is taken from the Heart to Heart stamp set, as well as this stem, and this stem with leaves on it. I am going to stamp it right up to this base of this first leaf, and I'll kind of taper it off, so hopefully it'll look like the tail of the shamrock. Got a little excess green there, so I'm just taking that off. And I'm actually using Garden Green for my ink. And then we're just going to put it down. I'm trying to line it up so the point will match the shamrock center. There we go. That turned out pretty good. Then the next thing we want to do for this one is we're going to take our Memento ink in the black, and we're going to take our Heartfelt stamp. So we took the So Lucky to Have You, So Lucky to Have a Friend Like You. I picked that one because it talked about luck, and I know with St. Patty's Day, you know, luck is a lot into that whole theme of St. Patty's Day, and I thought, well, that's the closest thing I have to a St. Patty's Day saying, so I'm going to use that. And it'll work for the people that I want to send it to, so. And I'm just going to stamp it toward the top, so I've got room to sign my name between the bottom of the stamp and the top of the shamrock. So that worked out real well. Okay, next we're going to stamp the shamrock onto this envelope. I think you must get better at it the more you do it, because that one turned out pretty good. Hopefully I didn't jinx it. That this will work just as well. A little bit of ink there. It works. Not a lot of a stem, but it works. That's what I did for the envelope. So next we're going to need the Memento Ink Pad, and we'll stamp the Hey Chick on this pad. Oh no, I can't talk today. I know I should have said stamped it onto this cardstock, but I said pad. So I'm going to put it toward the top of this so that I've got room to make grass underneath him. That works. So, and I'm going to close up my ink pad because we're done with that, I believe. And then I am going. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we need to color this in. So I've got several things here. We'll start with our light Cajun Craze, and what I'm going to do is I am going to use the nub rather than the big paintbrush, and I'm just going to do his nose real quick, or his beak, and I know my head is in this. And then we're going to do his feet as well, and his legs. And I'm not going to do any shading on that, so I can put this ink away, this marker away. And that was the light Cajun Craze. And if you didn't have that one, you could use pumpkin. I think it's called, what's it called? Light pumpkin pie. That would work as well. Then the next thing I would do is use the light Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to go just around these little feathers on his chest here. And I used the nub on that as well. You could have used the other side, that doesn't really matter. And then I'm also going to take this, the large side that looks more like a paintbrush, and I'm going to do his hair, and I'm going to do all of it because we're going to come back with the other colors, but this will get it a little bit wet so that when I do the other colors it'll accept the ink a lot quicker. And I'll do a lot more up there. And then the next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to take the dark Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to do the tips of his hair. So I really like this chick. I used him for Valentine chick. And I thought, oh, wouldn't he look great as St. Patty's Day with the having green on the end? So I'm just going to lightly tip that off. Then the next thing we want is our light Granny Apple Green. And I am going to take the bigger tip again. And I'm just going to extend it a little bit farther. And I know you're saying, well, why'd you do the light over the dark? Well, I'm going just a little bit farther, and then I'll come back and do the tips again with the dark. And I'm not going to tip that off or close that up yet. I might have to come back. I'm going to take our dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to just do a light line right up here on the back of his feathers and the center part up here. And then done with that one. Then we'll come back with our dark Granny Apple Green, and we'll do the tips again. And do the tips down here. And then I am going to take the light daffodil and kind of blend everything together. So I'm going to start in the center, and then I will work out from the edge of the tips inward, in toward the center. And I'm going to blend this out, and I'm going to work outward toward the inward. Okay. Then we need to do our grass, and that is going to be done with the nub, and we're just going to put little strokes. And kind of do like V strokes. One side having longer. And I'm going to do doesn't matter if you do light or dark first. I will go back and do the other one. In between these. I'm not tipping that. I'm getting it more like a check mark than anything. Close all my markers up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the blending pen kind of soften the grass so that it wouldn't be quite as harsh. I'm just going to kind of go over the top of all of them. And it should just soften it up a little bit. And then I will put this on the outside of the card. Trying to leave an 1/8 of an inch green border around the edge of it. We'll do the same thing with the inside of the card, leaving an 1/8 of an inch border around the edge of it. So typically, when you're using card stock and you've got different sizes, you usually just go in a 1/4 of an inch. And so that gives you an 1/8 of an inch border by using the 1/4 of an inch. So like my card base, this was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So the inside card base was 4 inches. So this was 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that gave me the 1/8 inch around the border. Okay, so we've got that done. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to use the Stamp and Seal Plus to put this on here because it has this flap on it, and I just don't want it to tear off of the paper. And we want to center it on the inside card. So I will do that with the Stamp and Seal Plus. I'm going to use my silicone mat again. And I just need to get it started using the roller. And I'm going to put a little down here, a little up here, and a little in the middle. This is really strong tape, so I'm pretty sure that will stick very well. And then I am going to try and center it. I don't have anything to gauge off of, so I'm just trying to visualize it. And then we have to put on our bow tie yet. So I'll just put a dot here. And then we'll use our Take Our Pick tool. So I think that's done. Let's bring back the other cards. So I hope you like what I did here today. it works great with just about any designer's series paper. So if you wanted to put a butterfly on here instead of making it Happy St. Patrick's Days, and then you could change the paper out. But the technique would work with just about any kind of stamp set and sentiment set. I hope you'll give it a try. I'd love to know what sentiment you'd be using. Leave a comment below to let me know what stamp set you used. And now, if you enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? First, click the thumbs up emojis, and that would mean you like it. And then would you also share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me grow my channel, and I really appreciate that. Be sure to click the subscribe button below so that you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me. I'm here to help you in any way that I can. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website, which is found at Joan Heberlein, stampinup.net. Actually, it's joanheberlein.stampinup.net. And then click the Shop Now button. Before I go, I want to remind you of the specials we have going on right now. We have, this paper pumpkin kit. It's the flavor of summertime fun. So what it is, it's enough supplies to make 12 fun-shaped cards with coordinating envelopes. It features vivid watercolored images, 2 matching sticker sheets, and a versatile stamp set with sentiments the entire family can use all year long. All year long. Go ahead and place your order now. It runs from March 11th through April 10th. And then we also have our Hey Chick and Hey Birthday Chick. So the Hey Chick was out about 3 years ago as a celebration, and it did so well they brought it back, but then they brought it back with the Hey Chick dies. So there's a chain link fence here, there's a hen house, there's a sign, there's dies for each of the chicks that are on this page. Cornstalk, really cute. But then they also have the Hey Birthday Chick. This is in the mini catalog. You can find this in the mini catalog, but you cannot find the Birthday Chick dies. So the dies, we have stamps for each of the stamps, each of the chicks that are on this stamp set. But then we have the Happy Birthday. We have the streamers. We've got a picket fence. There's a balloon for the Happy Birthday Chick. Very cute. And of course, we have our bow tie. There's a 10% savings when you buy the bundles. So if you bought the Hey Chick with the Hey Chick dies, you save 10%. Or if you bought the Hey Birthday Chick with the Hey Birthday Chick dies, 10%. Then we also have our butterfly bouquet collection. So this is available March 2nd until May 3rd. And I'm just going to show you what it is because this doesn't show up real well on the pictures. We have the 6x6 butterfly bijou paper. And then we have our Natural Touch specialty papers. And here's the papers here. So we've got this picture here. But what works really well is our die set will cut out all 6 of those butterflies at once. So that's really, really fun. And then you can use those individually on cards or put them all on one card. So then you can hang on to that image so that when you do a stamped image from the Butterfly Brilliant stamp set, you'll get this, and then it will work on there as well. But if you use this paper, and then you get it all lined up, you can actually see where the you see better where the outline's going to be. And then if you set your die on there, you can actually feel it click once it's in the right spot. And then you just tape that all down onto your stamping plate, cut and emboss plate, and then it'll cut the image out a lot cleaner. And there's a 10% savings when you buy the Butterfly Brilliance with the butterfly dies. And here's the other dies that are in the stamp set, or the die set. Got something stuck on there. So we've got images. Some of these match the paper, the stamp sets on the paper. So you can lay this over the top of the other image. And then these are some borders that you can make. Very cute. I think I'm going to do something with that again this next Wednesday. So this is the second piece of designer series paper. It is a smaller image of that first piece I showed you. Then we've got the rainbow collection, blue and green, pink and green, and then this butterfly is like in clouds and into the sky. And these are double-sided. So this is the second side. And let me get the green one back, or the first one back, so I can show you what that one is. And then we've got our specialty paper. So this is like a birch paper. It's very fine, and it has very slightly, you can feel the grain in it. So, and I think that's it for our promotions. So mark your calendars. I'll be back Wednesday, March 17th at 7 p.m. Central Time for something else from the Butterfly Bouquet collection. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.